It's been over 14 hours since our last update on the California election website, and somehow, after 14 hours and an official update from 2:55 a.m. to 4:05 p.m., we are still at exactly 41.6% of the votes having been tallied. Hello and welcome to Sweet Home California. My name is Jennifer. It's kind of like a 4-year-old doing a magic trick, and you're just waiting for him to get that trick done right, and the only way he can do it is if you look away. I asked to borrow that from Kim at Headlines and Echoes, and by the way, she is doing fine. Her spirits are good. She is always seeing the silver lining in things, and she took her first night off to go ballot canvassing last night, and she said it went really well overall. There were only a few people who looked at her a little funny, but most people were glad that that work was being done. So thank you, Kim, for doing that for us. I really appreciate it. I'm sure your neighbors do as well. And I encourage everybody to get involved in this. The only way we're going to be able to prove anything is with boots on the ground, people doing stuff, people doing observations, being there. And doing observations is hard. I went to the Kern County seat, which is Bakersfield, and I want to show you, what I saw. So I come up there, and this is the huge sign there, just to prove I was there in person, because I didn't figure I'd really be able to take pictures inside, and I couldn't once I was in the observation area. But this other picture here was in the waiting area, and I snuck out my camera because it had two different conflicting statements there, so I figured I had plausible deniability there. So on the one hand, it says, please turn off your cell phone. Por favor, apague su teléfono celular. Sorry, my Spanish is very rusty. I did take it in high school, but that was a little longer ago than I'd like to admit. And then right next to it, it says, only in English, as Kim pointed out because I shared this with her, scan this with your phone camera to register online. And she said, oh, I guess they don't want the Spanish people to be the Spanish speaking people to be registering online, do they? So anyhow, that's that. But here it is. I want to document this for posterity that this was as of 4:05. I'll hit refresh again, but I doubt they did an update in an hour. No, they didn't. So we're still at 41.6, which is what I had the last time I did an update, when I did something this morning. And yeah, and they still are not showing anything more recent than the 2018 gubernatorial for the total voter turnout. They don't have the 2020 voter turnout. Again, maybe because it was 110%. That's speculation. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm curious. And here are where the numbers are here. We still have 37 days left to certify this thing. Don't be fooled. For instance, up here, I don't know how well you can see it, but it says 18,185 out of 18,185 precincts partially reporting. And that means partially. So I don't know why they would just put it that way. Why don't they have a percentage of the precincts that are voting? So it kind of, a reporter that doesn't really want to do their due diligence, they're like, yep, see? We got 100% precincts reporting. It's over. But yet we've got 14 hours and we haven't seen a single update on the vote tally. And it's the 11th month of last year all over again. You just kind of stop, and they're trying to figure out what they can do about it. Anyhow, back to the observation. So I did not get trained to be an observer, and I had told you before that you don't have to be trained to go over there and observe, and that's true, you don't, but it certainly helps. And when I got over there, I was lucky enough to be there with a group that were trained observers. So the lady next to me had been a poll watcher the night before over in Mojave, which is near me, and then she was going to spend her afternoon watching the polls and observing things, and I was only able to be there at that point for about a half an hour because they didn't open their observations until about 22 minutes after they were supposed to start. So they were supposed to start again at 1 after lunch. They didn't start again until about 1:22, and then I had things I had to get back home to do because I have obligations and a day job. So anyhow, but what I did get, I got this 12-page packet. 12-page packet of gobbledygook. It has things such as this section also applies to ballots counted manually pursuant to Article 6, parentheses, commencing with Section 15290. So, yeah, it's, I'm going to have to take some time to digest this, and I want to be more involved with observations next time, and I hope that the 4 or 5 people that are over there right now are getting a lot of stuff done. I was watching the signature verifications, and they had us in, apart from the room where the signature verifications were actually happening, and they had 6 monitors. And then each of the 6 monitors, well, there were only 4 that were operational because they only had 4 people that were checking signatures at the time that I was there. So 4 of the 6 monitors came up, and they would show 4 ballots at a time. Just the part where the person's name, address, and their signature on the ballot, and then the signature that they had on file. So the person could, and you could see they would take the mouse and they were kind of like drawing along with it to see how similar the signature was. And for the most part, I mean, you could see pretty quickly, oh yeah, those are all alike, you know, they can go through. But then there were some, and I wouldn't say just an insignificant amount, I would say at least 1 out of every 8 that I would think, I'm not sure if that's right. And you'd see the person pause, because they were considering the same thing, and they would check, you could check to see if there were other signatures on file that the county had received before, and you could see that there were some differences. But sometimes they, you know, it was obvious that, yeah, over time their signature changed a little bit from the official one, and you could see like the progression. But sometimes it was like, no, that just doesn't look at all like their signature. But then sometimes they would say, yeah, it needs to be checked, but sometimes they would say, nope, it's good, go ahead. And what the role of the observer was to keep track of that, so that if it was too many, I wasn't at the training, so I don't know what too many is, then they would write an incident report that presumably then the county would have to act upon. And again, since I didn't go to the training, I'm not sure exactly how that all works. I'm hoping that it might be in this 12-page paper, but I just got back. I haven't had time to read it yet, so I will get to that, and I'll let you know if there's anything interesting in it. But anyhow, that was the only thing that the observers were able to see at the point that I was there. So I don't know if that's all they're doing right now and they focus all their energy just on that, or not. So I don't know exactly what happens with provisional ballots. What happens if someone who claimed that they never received a ballot, and then that ballot shows up, what happens to their provisional? I don't know the answer to that. And I hope that smarter people than me do. So if you are involved in this process at all, or you've seen it done, and you have an answer, please comment below. I'd appreciate it. And anyhow, I've seen some comments that people are discouraged, and I appreciate that. But you can't give up, because then what are we going to leave for our children? I mean, anybody who's a parent, you cannot give up. And yeah, if you don't have any children, don't you have anybody special that you want to leave something better behind? Don't give up. Just keep praying and work towards it. Okay, I feel a lot better having participated in this election process. Even though thus far it doesn't look like I'm going to get the result that I want, I feel better for having been a part of it. I feel like, as for making these videos and reporting on this, I feel better about it. Now maybe the reporting itself doesn't do anything because I'm still so small, but if I'm able to influence one of you, some of my videos have gotten 4,000 to 8,000 views. If I can influence one of you to next time be a poll watcher, be a poll worker, be an observer where they're counting it at the county seat, then, you know, I just feel good about that. So I really encourage you all, if you've thought about doing a YouTube channel to be able to influence others, if you've thought about if you have some time, because it is a time commitment to do the watching and the poll working, please plan for it, okay? Please plan for it. All right, well, I'm going to switch topics here real quick, because I've already gone a lot longer than I really wanted to. I'm just tired, that's why I'm a little rambly. But I had mentioned before that I was being sponsored by Ellie and Grace Christian t-shirts. I'm not wearing one of their t-shirts right now because when I went to the observation polls, I wasn't sure what the dress code was, and I wanted to make sure they weren't going to turn me away because I had writing on my t-shirt. So I dressed up a little. But anyhow, this is what I got. One of these bags I had paid for, but I paid for one of their grab bags, so I still don't really know what it is that I ordered. So both of them are mystery bags for me, and I'm going to do a reveal and opening on this tomorrow. I haven't decided what time. Probably 10. I'm going to see if I can do it live, and then if anybody has any questions that they want to ask me in celebration of surpassing 2,500 subscriptions, which I never thought I'd get to. If anybody wants to ask me questions, then we can go ahead and do that while I'm showing off the t-shirts I got. And I'll also put a link in the description for the discount code, because Ellie and Grace were kind enough to offer a 10% off to anybody using the code GEN10 at ellieandgrace.com, and that's ELLYAND Grace.com, and I'll put the link in the description. So anyhow, I really appreciate all your comments, all your support. Remember, comments are having to be moderated right now, so please be kind, be circumspect, be crafty like a fox. Smart people will understand what you're saying, so some words can be avoided. Anyhow, God bless, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.